something, and I was waiting for her, and he was there, and he was watching TV, and so I just sat down next to him. And he was like, you know what? You're a good friend, Bruce. And like, that just really meant a lot to me. Like, because I mean, I felt the same way, and I think it's in high school you just really cling on to those kinds of friendships, and for him to see that and call down and really encourage that, it meant a lot to me. And you know, I also remember stopping by Sweet Breeze and remembering my kids, like, you know, he's just always so kind. He's always so kind to them. And something I'll cherish forever.
My name is Kim Morris, and I know the Fabrizios from a long time back. Our girls were friends with Gina primarily, and coming out with Christy and Anna. And when we first met Dan, Dan knew that I used to ride horses. Man, he kept trying to get me to go to Randy's cabin. Because you gotta come riding with us, you gotta go up to the cabin, and we go hunting. It's like, oh no. I'll do the horse fun, not the cabin. Never went up. But anyway, he was a man of few words, but let me tell you, there was a twinkle in his eye. And sometimes there was mischief and humor behind all of that. And one time, he took our girls, all three of them, Rebecca, Hannah, and Emily, and Gina, up to the Shoes cabin. Do you remember this, Gina? And apparently the cabin had a little loose in a while, and there were some dead mice. And Dan had a heyday with the dead mice. Because he tried ways to bring one of the dead mice and dangle it in front. They're sitting there talking on the sofa, and then and oh my goodness, when the girls came back, and this happened the whole weekend. All kinds of things to do with the mice, or if he was making breakfast, he goes, be careful of the mice tails, or whatever. He was constantly playing on that. So when the girls came back, they go, Mom, Jennifer Fabricio's crazy! So we got another slide to Dan Fabrizio from that weekend that our girls spent with him up at Jim Shoes cabin. So it was very fun to see that very fun and humorous side of him as well. So thank you, Dan, for being such a wonderful, creative image bearer of Christ in all ways. Because God is a God of humor, and Dan had that deep humor as well. So thank you.
Hello, my name's Chuck. Very few of you know me, but I'm Kim's older brother, and so I've been here for a while. I didn't meet Dan until right around when they got married for those nearby. But I want to tell a story about Dan and what you could see in his heart, I think. Our father was passionate, and that word can't be emphasized enough. Passionate with all kinds of letters. Pilot. Flew for over 60 years. Has been all around the country flying with the little airplane. Crashed 24 times. I mean, it was just flying was. I asked him one time, I said, what if you get a little old to fly, and what if you were to crash and go? I can't think of a better way to fly. I mean, this is passion. So one year, same time that Dan, as a videographer, had arranged with the U.S. Navy to do some video on an aircraft carrier. And he asked my father if he wanted to be the photographer's assistant. And that way, my father could go out and go on the U.S. Navy aircraft carrier on a plane and land on the carrier and then get catapulted off to when they were done and come back. Oh my gosh. I don't think, you couldn't have done anything. I think he would have given Dan anything, after to do that. It was just so, it was just how Dan could just see this person, what really hit him. It was a great moment. The three of us really understood that gesture. So that was real nice. Next.
Hi, I'm Donna, Dan's older sister. I just have a story to tell about Dan. When I graduated from high school, Dan was only 5 years old, and my dad decided to celebrate to take us to a local steakhouse, which was a big deal. Really never went out to eat. So we're at the restaurant. Dan got a little tired of sitting around waiting for everybody, so he was walking around. The next thing we know, he's going to the door that says, "Don't open." The fire alarms go off, so everybody moves quicker. I just knew he was always wanting to do things his way, and didn't have a whole lot of patience for people to make up their minds if they wanted to do stuff. And when we saw him a few times, he always took the lead about what we're going to do. Visiting California, we're going to go there, we're going to go there. But we always had a good time. Unfortunately, we didn't have too many of those times because all of us so far away from each other. But I will always remember this day, especially in his horse. Only, he never let me ride it. Hands off, not touching my So, I miss him when we always things.
Hi there, I'm Sean. I, along with Caleb, was in dance high school, and, you know, a lot of really good memories come back. Fishing, hiking, skiing, all that stuff. Some of my best memories, though, were a lot more simple than that. Just watching ball game on Thursday nights after I was at the movies with us was just a treat. I also, like Caleb, got to walk around to a few of the high school football games, carrying all of his video equipment. Got to go in at one. Gosh, who was the guy that did sports for Game 5 for a while?
Steve Rabel coming to trouble.
Also, it was also a real treat because he got to introduce me to Paul Sylvie. And I had grown up watching, you know, Paul Sylvie talk about graffiti and talk about the Sonics and all that stuff. And it was just like, Sean, you know, go say hi to Mr. Sylvie. It was like, Paul Sylvie. So, you know, that was an absolute treat. You know, I know my dad and I both had an absolute blast going fishing with Dan. You know, we go out around the Snake Lake and we got to break into the drift boat and let him go around in it. And thankfully, he let me try and catch fish. He was a lot better at setting the hook quicker than I was. So he and my dad were really nice at being able to teach me that. So I will always cherish that. I'll always cherish just the, you know, mentorship that he gave us. You know, I also have a better like Caleb. Caleb's just way smarter than me in remembering to bring it. But it meant an awful lot when we graduated to get that letter. You know, I was not sure what the future held, but I didn't know one thing that I was going to have someone in my heart, and that meant a whole lot. So thank you, Dan, for all the love and leadership you gave me. So.
a high school sports blitz game with him, where it was a high school girls soccer tournament in the rain. And it was like 8 hours at high school in the rain, watching, no one scored any points. My boys are getting ready. Do you want Dave to do his,
No, this is their version of sharing a story. That's what stories can continue after this, that's what I mean.
Got it.
They're just, they have a little song to share. They, the boys are 12, they're going into 7th grade. They're going into their 3rd year, in band. And they wanted to do a song for concerts. And there was stuff to choose from, but they chose, Martin.
Got their close story, so they love his boat, and his pride and joy, he was happy about his song. So we went out one time with him, it was a friend's line. We were headed out, it was relatively common size of protected waters, South Carolina. But Dan, he decided he wanted to go out coaching. So he still points to flood toward the ocean, you can see that it's not common. It's not common. And Dan's just driving along, and Kim notices where we're headed. And she leans over to Dan and says, and he does anything, he just keeps driving. And then she leans over a little closer. I don't know what she said, and you'll have to ask her. Whatever it was, the words. The boat just looked around, back into the protected water. But I was worried, because this boat wasn't having to do. I was going, ooh, I wonder what's going to happen when it gets pounded by the ocean.
Boys, you ready? Gonna say anything, or you just gonna start? All right, go ahead. Dave's gonna go last. Have anything? No.
Well, as everybody can attest, Dan was quite the friend, and it sounds like I was the one who got roped into doing other things with him and for him, as we can all attest to, but, at least I got paid for doing work at the ice cream shop. After I retired from truck driving, I went to work for Randy Camp, at engineering, and, Dan even, did some things for him as far as gateway and stuff, so I got to work with him there, but first time we met, I can't remember when you guys came to the church, but, at Wilford Park where we go, actually got to serve on the elder board together with him at one time, and, but just from then, the friendship just kind of grew and got to be involved in different things that they were doing and the family, and just really love them. But, if many of you remember the ice cream shop and all the stuff that was done there, I mean, it was basically just an empty building, and Dan had a vision, and unfortunately, we had to actually cut concrete at one time, which I was not really all that familiar with, but neither was he, so we just kind of made it work, and got it to the point you go from one end of the building to the other. Then also it ended up being where I was actually working and doing some of the ice cream stuff too, and opening and being with the kids. And unfortunately, just the way to do it, but the laws of the kids going to be there, couldn't be there by themselves, they had to have an adult. So I got to do that, kind of give them a break. And then I know this much about mechanics and stuff, especially the engines, although I did drive semi in the 5 Western states. But when he was looking to buy the boat, he had some work he wanted to do it, so I was able to make like 3 trips down to South Carolina and had a chance to go out on the boat. Not being from the South really, or I mean, I've heard of cockroaches, but when I found the cockroaches in the bedroom that I was going to be staying in, that was really the best thing. But I did find the spray. Took care of it. But those were fun trips. Also got to meet close friends. There's Roger and Jean Sauter, and what a sweet couple. I guess they've been friends for a long time, probably since college age and stuff. But they would always put us up when we went down there, and just had a great time with them and going to their church and stuff too. But yeah, just as many of you felt too, just going to talk to Dan, and with that, I think I'll go ahead and put my other hat on. I'm also happy to be a board member with the village basket. And at our last meeting, we talked about trying to extend the opportunity, if anyone was interested, to in memory of Dan, to be able to give to the board members the mission to kind of help keep it go on. As it is, everybody else at Dan was the driving force behind it. And a lot of us are a lot older. I really can't do a lot of travel. I just kind of a kid here back around Thanksgiving, which Kim and Dan actually came over and brought some food for us and stuff and had a nice visit. But God is good. I went through this new beginning and things are going well. So God's been good there. But just with the vision that Dan had for, I'm guessing a lot of you know what the Village Basket is. I just wanted to read a little bit. Don't want to take too much time here. The story of the Village Basket begins with receiving an invitation by a local pastor to come and meet with the village elders. We talk with them and determine how best we can help. Communities in Africa. 5 basic needs are school fees for children, income generation, clean water, medical and literacy training for adults. The Village Basket represents the unity of the village, much like the Acts 2 church. Everyday needs like bringing your neighbor to the doctor, taking care of someone else's children are shared by the village. Community events like bringing the crops to market to sell are done as a group. The needs of the village are oftentimes shared by the collective to help others out wherever possible. Our ministry model is centered around helping communities after being invited in by either pastor or community leaders. After sharing the word of God, which is usually done by Pastor Velocity and the other literacy training, cable banking training, then disciple training. We use discipleship materials to help local pastors disciple their flocks in the Bible for literacy training. This helps them to learn how to read and write in their own language. The cable we're gonna step up and try and keep it going. So if you'd like to give, either write a check today, or if you're go on the village basket.org, there's also a place where you can donate also.